Today we're going to talk about what works and what doesn't work when building a YouTube channel. The last few weeks have been a whirlwind as I've attempted to reach my 1,000 subscriber goal. That's just one part of a larger goal of becoming a YouTube partner. And so by the end of this video, you'll know what's worked for me, what hasn't worked for me, and how you can implement that in building your YouTube channel. First of all, if you haven't seen the video where I talk about my YouTube partner program goal, you can check that link right here. We're going to look at some statistics first before we jump into the takeaways from this experience. We're going to be considering the month of October. This has been split into two halves. There was the half where I was doing videos about 3 times a week for the first few weeks, and then the point at which I started sharing, which was about October 14th. So we're going to look at the statistics based on the month of October. In the month of October, I uploaded 20 videos. And between those 20 videos, the channel sits with 24 subscribers to date. 23 of them were in the month of October, and 21 of them were people besides me. These 20 videos have reached 2,380 minutes of watch time. Between 545 views. That comes out to about 4 minutes and 22 seconds per view. I've gone through and counted the actual likes that this channel has received through these videos specifically. 122 likes across 20 videos. We're looking inside the YouTube analytics. Let me scroll up here. I was just looking at a few different things. I'm in the month of October. And the very first half, let me put this line here. This is the day right here, October 14th, that it was the first day I actually shared something. You see, becoming a YouTube partner in 80 days has 53 minutes and increased to 85 on the second day. Okay. Anyway, I'm showing you this because from this point on, there's not that much going on. There was like this unboxing video, which I think got some search term connections. So some people did watch it because of how popular the subject was, but we're going to disregard that first half of the month. And when I actually started sharing it on October 15th is kind of the more interesting information here. Okay. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of top 5 videos regarding watch time were why I drive a 22-year-old car, discovering a new motivation in the Italian market. I was talking about the BRRRR method. This one also is the BRRRR method. Is it possible to implement the BRRRR method in Italy? Let's find out. Number 4, becoming a YouTube partner in 80 days. So regarding the watch time, that very first shared video was actually in 4th place. And 5th is about the consulting accelerator I did. This was like the very, 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 very first video on my channel. That one that has a lot more attention at the beginning. So some of these minutes at the beginning increase this placement. It's interesting to note that if I change it, instead of focusing on watch time and I change it to focus on views, the order, I selected the same videos and you can see where they sit on the list. That unboxing was in 5th, now it's in 3rd. So it's actually viewed many more times. The very first one was actually why I drive a 22-year car. So it was actually watched a less number of times, but for a longer period of time. And so that impacts the average view duration, right? This 5 minutes and 16 seconds increases the average view duration for the entire channel to 422 with some of these other ones as well. Okay. So we're going to talk about who's winning in some of these categories in a minute. I just want to show you that you can kind of reorder these and see which ones are working, which ones are just being looked at a lot, and which ones are actually not being watched completely. For example, 15.4% of this video is actually watched. About 2 minutes of the video is actually watched. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Obviously, I didn't reach that 1,000 subscriber goal, but with each attempt, I learned that there are many lessons learned. And so what the goal is to learn a lesson from what we see here and try to fix it, right? Try to find a way to improve the quality of the channel and what's being provided as a service. Much like any award ceremony, I decided to look at the most liked, the most commented, the most, and see which of these videos is the obvious winner of these categories. Okay, so looking at the most liked video, Speaking of likes, now would be a good time to like this video if it's something that interests you. Also, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. The video that received the most likes in on this channel is Becoming a YouTube Partner in 80 Days, about 15 minutes long. It was published on October 14th. Okay, the next category I want to look at is actually the number of views each video received, and it doesn't change a whole lot. But Becoming a YouTube Partner remains in first place, and we have to understand the why. Okay, why did it take first place in both of these categories? Well, I honestly think that it's because it was new, right? I have a lot of very supportive friends, and I made a request that everyone go and check out my new channel and press the like button and subscribe, and most of the subscriptions came during this period, as well as most of the likes came during this period. And so it's more of a show of support and a show of love that created this effect right here of 15 likes, because the rest of these only have like 6 or 7, right? So this is an outlier that shouldn't really be considered, but it is. As well as the number of views here, 62 is higher by 19 of the next most viewed video. So it's also an outlier due to its novelty, right? Okay, so more interesting is the category of most percentage watched. And right here, average percentage viewed is where I can see this statistic. I can't really reorder it by this, but I can look down and find that video with the highest number. Now, ignore these two. They don't belong on this channel. It was just a way of me sharing some information. But 45.7% of the True Story Effect of Compound Decisions was watched. And I mean, the total watch time is only 62 minutes total because there's like a lot less views. But between those views, more of the video was actually watched. I like to look down and find the next highest. And it's actually why I drive a 22-year-old car. Okay? It had a very large percentage of the video viewed, and it also had the second place regarding views. So that means people continually came back and watched it, which resulted in a higher average view duration of 5 minutes and 16 seconds. It received 6 likes and a total watch time of 226 minutes. If I look at the next two categories, the most watched minutes and the most comments, that video stands to win all 3 of these categories. Okay, so the most percent watched, the most watch time, as well as the most comments. And part of those most comments is me, because I was responding to those comments as well. Like I said, talking about cars isn't the intention of this channel, but obviously it resonated more with the current audience, and that's okay. Most everyone has a car. Most of my friends are probably frugal, and most of this channel is full of friends that are supporting me from the beginning. And so it makes sense that they would be more engaged on a video about cars that are old and lifestyle choices that lead to a better life in the future. Either way, talking about this car was much more relatable to this audience, this current audience, and that's okay. I'm happy, and we will talk more about lifestyle choices like that in the future as well. So I'd like to talk about what has worked and what hasn't worked based on these statistics to learn how to improve in the future. I've selected 4 things that have worked. Number 1, I have to say, was even though 24 isn't quite 1,000 subscribers, I'm still grateful for the subscribers that I have to date. That goal of 1,000 in 20 days was probably a little bit ridiculous, considering the fact that I didn't have a big following on Facebook or Instagram already. And so the point is, number 1, the thing that has worked the most for me is taking action and just starting this channel and just sharing it, no matter what the criticism might come. And so, I mean, a lot of people say the same thing. If you don't take those first steps, you'll never get anywhere. I've got 22 more subscribers today than I did 3 weeks ago, okay? And so that's a big deal. From now on, I can compare the future and see how quickly I can double that number and see how many times I can double that number in a short period of time. What is the second thing that has worked on this channel? I'd say is being consistent. I did set a goal of doing a video every single day. When I shared and was consistently making video, there was always growth. When I'm consistent in sharing videos, uploading videos and sharing videos, I see a consistent growth inside the analytics, and that's actually a very big deal. Also, my learning curve for making videos, because I shared 20 videos in such a short amount of time, at least for my schedule, has really helped me understand what's good, what's bad, and how to create higher quality videos. Okay, so there's obviously room for improvement. So in order to help this channel grow, the third most important thing that I've done was share my videos. Okay, I know that a lot of people just rely on the channel to just grow, search terms and browsing, things like that, but my initial growth came directly from Facebook, and you can see it. All right, talking about Facebook, watch time from external sources only accounts for 20% of the total watch minutes, but I wanted to show you something. It's usually pretty easy to designate that what sources are your external sources, especially at the beginning of the channel. For example, I use Facebook, I've shared on Twitter, I've shared on Instagram, but the majority came from Facebook. We'll see in a second. I just usually wait for the post to come out, make a nice thumbnail or whatever. And you can see the last post I did was October 30th. And then the 31st, Halloween, I was a little sick, 29th. So every day I posted something, and you can see each post I go down. Trying to get engagement and things like that. And so people would click this, and like I said, my subscribers literally come from Facebook at this point in the process. There are some of you that have found me in other ways, and I really appreciate that. Looking inside the YouTube analytics, let's look in external sources here for a second. Here you can see in green, external sources account for 478 watch time minutes. You can see right here, the green line was very large at the beginning, right? So it was the leading cause of watch time at the beginning. When I started sharing it, October 14th, October 15th, October 16th, it was pretty much on a plateau almost of 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 19 minutes, okay? But over time, like here it is again, 20 minutes there, and the 28th, another 14 minutes. Now, we've hit a point where in October 28th, we'd reached a total of 83 minutes from different sources. And you can see that external doesn't look that significant, but you have to understand that these external minutes right here is what really brought on the subscribers. I think from the 14th until maybe a few days later, this period right here is where I received more than half of my subscribers. And so from that point, you can see that YouTube starts to take control, right? You can see actually the channel pages, traffic from YouTube channel page, other YouTube channel pages or topic channel pages. This is taking the claim that it is the most successful portion of my YouTube experience, right? But in reality, none of these channel pages would have worked out, or a very low percentage would have occurred if I hadn't started by sharing on a social media channels to increase my subscriber base. Okay, so, and interestingly enough, if we look at traffic sources externally right here, Facebook accounts for a very high percentage. Look, that curve follows Facebook very easily. I mean, there's a little hiccup right here for whatever reason. 116 views were from Facebook. It's obvious Facebook is what is deriving most of my channel views and most of my watch time minutes. If I go back to traffic sources, I can see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 account for a very high majority. Okay, so YouTube has a way of, you initially share it on social media channels and find that influence, and they help cultivate that, and you should continue to share, but YouTube will start taking credit for other social media channels' efforts. As far as that's what it looks like to me anyway. Another evidence that we're looking at watch time by subscription status, right? So subscribers versus not subscribed. And you can see how they compare to each other. Blue being subscribed and green being someone who's not subscribed and what they do on my channel. 100 likes came from subscribers, 289 views. So the majority, just over half of the views come from subscribers. and the 60% of the watch time comes from the subscriber. Okay, what do we learn from this? I started sharing right here, and all of a sudden there are subscribers. 99 minutes were not subscribed, and then people would subscribe, and over time this one starts to dwarf, and the subscriber base is being contacted by YouTube directly. It makes sense that because they have multiple ways of being contacted, whether it be entering YouTube but using their home page, they see my video more often, and notifications come to their cell phones or whatever, and so they have a higher potential of finding my content, and they already know who I am. The fourth thing that I want to share about what has worked for this channel is commenting on the video. And so I've actually started the conversation. I've responded to the conversation. I've had really good feedback from people that I didn't expect to be engaged on this subject, and it's been fun to like reconnect with old friends. But the point is that commenting on the video is good for the YouTube algorithm, as well as it helps the channel evolve. And I say that because it's not necessarily that it helps the subscriber count grow a little bit. I mean, it does. The algorithm takes the information and pushes it out to more people, so that helps it grow. But the point is that as a creator, I can take information from those comments and create content that will adapt to the audience's preferences, and that will help growth as well as evolution. I'm calling it evolution. The idea that the audience is one thing now, but the audience could be something else in the future based on what's being shared currently and what is going to be shared tomorrow. One of the fun statistics to track is actually real-time activity. It takes a few days to update accurately most of the YouTube analytics, but as you can see here, you can see the views based on which videos are being watched during this 48-hour period, and it'll change position depending on which one has been viewed the most. I took some screenshots, and the most I ever saw my channel reach was in a 48-hour period, about 120 views during that period. And I thought, wow. Honestly, the first time it happened, I thought, oh yeah, I'm over 100, you know, and I thought that it was going to remain there. But almost immediately, like the next day, it dropped down to like 50 again, and I was like, oh, okay, so instead of 50 views a day, I'm getting 20 or 22 or whatever it was. But you can see there's fluctuation in the whole thing, and it's just an interesting thing to track, because this is the best thing to use to know what videos people are actually engaging with. So you could actually hop on and comment during that period of time when people are online watching, because you actually know people are there literally watching. Perhaps they'll see comments pop up. My goal at this point is to try to keep that number over 100. Right now, because I was sick for about a week, it went back down to about 10. So like 5 a day, and that makes sense because I'm not that well known. Enough of what has worked. Let's talk about a little bit about what hasn't worked on this YouTube channel. All right, so very first thing I have to say is talking about yourself. Nobody wants to hear it. Majority of people that don't know me personally are not here to hear that I put my socks on today, or that my socks were dirty and I had to go home and change them. This is a made up story. Don't worry. The point is that majority of people like you come to this channel because they're searching for information. They want to learn, and that's a good thing. And so if I can't provide something interesting or educational, then I don't deserve to be here. And so what hasn't worked is me coming up with an idea and talking about myself, about what I'm doing, what this is. Hi, how are you? But the point is that there is a certain niche that fits that category, I guess, or a certain category of person that can do that kind of thing. For example, celebrities can do that because they're already famous for something. But when starting a new YouTube channel, it's not anything anyone wants to see. It's like, oh, who's this guy? I wonder what he did today. Nobody says that. So finding a way to find information people want and give it to them, and to make it a lot less about me and a lot more about what you're learning. Those are the things that could work, but talking about myself has definitely not worked so far. It's okay. Okay, so what is the second thing that hasn't worked on this channel? I'd say is posting daily videos. Now you'd say, well, that's dumb. YouTube says you should be consistent and follow a schedule. It's like, yeah, Okay, that was my intention. And actually, the reason I was doing daily videos was to really punch my learning curve in the face. The idea that I really wanted to learn this thing, I wanted to dedicate myself, and in order to learn and create a habit, it's really good to do things consistently every day. And it was a great challenge, and I enjoyed doing it up until the point where I fell behind, and doing it daily made it so I couldn't prepare things in advance, nor could I put a lot of quality into the video. So number one, it did help with my learning curve, but it took away from the quality of the video. And I think quality matters. Doing these daily videos is much of a fun challenge as it was. I'm not a gaming channel, so I can't just plug and play. I literally have to do some editing to add effects and make it more interesting, especially since we're talking about finance and real estate and things like that, educational. It's just better to be able to do some post-process editing. Another problem with doing daily videos is the idea that when life crashes down on you and you're doing daily videos like that, unless you're like really good and you get way out ahead of it, it's just not possible. So I either have to make lots of videos way ahead of time to do a lot of filler in the middle as I'm doing this, so that when I get sick or when I have to do some other thing an emergency, that there's still content produced. I wasn't in that situation because I dove right into it, and that's okay, but planning ahead is necessary in order to be consistent and provide content that is valuable and high quality. Okay, so learning all this is great, but it doesn't do anything good unless we actually learn how to change ourselves and adapt to our situation. So what do I intend to change? First thing I have to say would be to search interesting, relatable content to my niche, but things that people are looking for as opposed to things that I think people want or things that I think people should have. Okay, so the very first thing, to focus on the desires of the audience, and the best way to do that is learning through the comments and researching it on YouTube itself. Finding those search terms that are interesting to people. There are certain terms that are searched much more frequently that are relatable to this channel. The second thing is actually about being more social. And so what does that mean? I'm probably not going to be spending all day creating some social media campaign in order to grow this channel, but when I am on social media, I tend to be more of a watcher and less of a participator. Changing that small thing about myself will help. Now, I think something that has more impact, since I'm not a big influencer right now, searching YouTubers that have a larger influence right now and collaborating with these people are good ways of growing the channel, because this is a social media platform. We can comment, we can talk to each other, and there are people out there that with relatable content that potentially have an interest with what I'm talking about, as well as it'll give them something fresh to add to their channel. Now, a lot of people, I've always thought that, I've only got 24 subscribers. Why would someone with 1 million subscribers want to collaborate with me? It's because of that fresh new material. Since I can provide something that they haven't done on their channel, it'll give them something else to talk about. As long as it's relatable, it's valuable to them, right? If I can tie into someone with maybe 100,000 subscribers and just collaborate, we each make a video and we throw it out there and make it interesting and fun with good content, the hardest part will be giving someone value that they're willing to put on their channel. And the third thing that's going to help me on this channel is actually going to be following a better schedule. Okay, I've challenged myself. I've accomplished a lot doing so, but moving forward with this channel, I think it's going to be very important to become consistent. And what does that really mean? Well, I've decided that Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are going to be the days in which I post and upload videos. Doing 6 videos a week has been a fun challenge, but focusing on a better schedule and cutting that back down to 3 will do a number of things. It'll be less annoying. It will allow me to create higher quality videos and avoid those rocky life events, and always be consistent on providing updates on this, based on this new schedule. So what is the schedule? Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At least at this point. Maybe I'll find out that hours are not good for this audience, and that's okay. That'll be the schedule in which you can come here to this channel and you can find new content. And it'll be based on, actually on Tuesday we'll be talking about some general things. I'll keep it a little bit open so that I can do updates and things like lifestyle choices. Thursday will be a live broadcast, and the intention there is to talk about Italian personal finance and specifically taxes. And I can't decide if I'm going to call it tax talk or Italian finance. And maybe you can help me decide by writing in the comments what you think. Maybe you have a better idea. So Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be live on YouTube. If you choose to join the conversation, we'll talk about what you want to hear about. Otherwise, I'll prepare something, and we'll always talk about taxes as it relates to personal finance here in Italy, as well as real estate in Italy. Okay? So and then Saturday I've dedicated to real estate strategies. Right now we're doing the BRRRR strategy, and we're following along a process of taking our current properties and turning them into more properties. Okay? So stick around. Saturdays we'll have new content on that subject. I do believe that this is going to be interesting. Even though it's more about what I'm doing, it's still a big lesson learned, and I can definitely present it in a way that is interesting to you. Make sure to check back at those times. If you do want to receive notifications, make sure to hit the notification bell in the corner here. That way you know the next time the video is uploaded, but at least you'll always know I'm following this schedule, and I'm able to get out ahead and create higher quality videos, so I maintain that schedule. Okay? That's the intention here. It's all for you guys. Now with the plan of action, I can create a new goal. I don't think I'm going to give it a deadline like 20 days like I said last time. I'm still within that 80-day YouTube partner program goal. And so I'm hoping by the end of 80 days to be a lot farther ahead. I think the problem that I did when I created that video about around YouTube in 80 days is I was considering that those 1,000 subscribers come first, and then the watch time comes second. And in reality, it comes together, and that's very obvious at this point. Saying that I'm going to reach the 1,000 subscribers so that the next period I can reach my watch time, I think was a little bit ridiculous. And I'm willing to admit it. So moving forward, I hope that by 60 more days forward from today, I will be able to come back and say this channel has grown exponentially, because in reality it's not just about me, it's about what you want. And if I can't provide for what you want, this channel will remain at 24 subscribers, and that's for sure. I can say that I will do everything in my power to be consistent and transparent moving forward. And I love the channels that are always transparent and showing the details and the analytics and things like that, and really creating good high quality videos about like what they're earning and what has worked, what hasn't worked. So yeah, this is going to be a side project moving forward, and I'm still trying to hit that 80-day goal. If you've got any tips or suggestions on how to grow the channel, I am all ears, and I would love to gain some feedback from you. And I invite any YouTuber out there that is interested in collaborating to contact me. I'm going to be searching today, trying to find some potential candidates for collaboration. And if I don't find you, I'm sorry, but you feel free to contact me too. Okay? If you've made it to the end, just so you know, you're my favorite type of person, someone who sticks with it. Comment, like, subscribe. But seriously, have a great day, and I guess I'll see you on Thursday. It'll be live from my couch. Bring some questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, just enjoy the show. All right? Thanks. We'll see you next time.